All right, so I got lots of detailed measurements here. Some specifically for this floor pan that I'm about to be taking out. The goal for this evening, it's Tuesday evening, is to get this out. So we'll find out how difficult that is and whether I get a reality check or if I can get it out. I went along and stripped this area down to bare metal so that I could run a line around the outside edge of this piece, just as another reference. But I want to point out that when I took my measurements, the way I did it is I measured several different spots on the car and found the center lines. And I was able to put what was about center lines pretty accurately right here, down there, up here. Anyway, all the measurements for this panel go off of this center line. And this center line is not going to change or get erased, it's going to stay here. So that will be fine for whenever I make references for the new panel. But what I want to point out is I didn't just take measurements to the edges of the sheet metal because I feel like that could actually vary from panel to panel. I think it's more important to take measurements from things like these corner pieces here, the holes, and they might not match up either as accurately as what I'm hoping, but again, I think it's more important to take measurements from things like corner pieces, like, well, I would stay away from flanges just because I feel like flanges could vary. Like this corner is probably going to have to be right about there. These holes are going to have to line up because that's where the gas tank screws go through. So those are the more important things that I'm taking measurements from. I struck out on my first attempt. On my first attempt at using the spot weld cutter, we went through. So be mindful of that. Plenty of spot welds for practice. So I went ahead and drilled through I got all these spot welds, but I don't know how well I drilled through them yet. We'll find out whenever I start trying to pry them off. But what I found works best is to center punch each spot weld, then drill into the spot weld enough to get the centerpiece on this bit into that hole. That will help significantly keep it stable when you're trying to drill. And then what I found works best is you want to get it locked in there and push hard, but you want to start out drilling slowly to create a groove to prevent it from slipping around, and slowly start pushing harder and drilling faster, and that's what worked for me. So we'll see if we can get these spot welds broken free here. All right, so all these are broken free. I gotta grind this off right here, this little piece of metal, and break this one free, but this area is pretty much done because this is gonna get cut off in along here. torque for that one. Okay, we're back. It's actually night 2 now, and we got a decent amount of work done last night. But as a bit of a reality check, just cutting out this took me about 3 hours last night. The good news is the frame rail looks pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust up here, but there's no rust on the inside. That's just stuff that has fallen down in from cutting and all that. And it seems to look pretty good. We'll take a better look once we get this other section out over here. Hopefully it won't take as long. We'll see. So we're back. It's night 3 on this, and I knew that this was going to take a while, but I didn't think it was going to take this long. These bumper brackets, they are a royal pain to get out. So I'm gonna be really curious to see, once I remove all the old sheet metal, how much time it takes to get the new sheet metal in place, fit properly, and then welded in. I'm really curious to see what those proportions are as far as removing sheet metal to fitting and welding in new sheet metal. Man, it's a task. It's a task for sure. Switching on my method here, I'm gonna hit these spot welds with just several different drill bits, work my way up in size, and see if I can drill them and weaken them that way. Just trying different things, see what works and what doesn't. Can it all loosen this thing? I don't think I'm missing any spot welds. I think at this point it's just a matter of they might not be completely broken free. So we're gonna bust out the paint tool. I forget what the heck that thing's called, but I use it for drywalling and stuff. This is like a painter's tool. It's driving me nuts. I can't remember the name of it, but anywho, it's pretty good for getting down in these spot load areas. Let's give that a go, shall we? She wants to move now. Yes! All right. Man, I hope that's the worst part of this whole job. That reaction was not over the top. I know you guys know. Anybody that's done this has got to know how big of a pain in the butt that was. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's really, I mean, it's nothing to complain about. But, whew, as far as the last 2 or 3 nights go, that was a chore, to say the least. That little thing there was tough. Let's bring in the cleanup crew, see how she cleans up. I sincerely hope that sheet metal is not hard to get off. All right, we are so close to being done with this driver's side floor pan, trunk floor pan. So let's just pray for a good clean fight on this one and make reasonably quick work of this. Man, I am happy with what I see in there. And the driver's side is worse than the passenger side, so I am happy with these frame rails. I'll show you guys down in there in a minute. All right, here's how she looks. Not bad at all. Not rotted through anywhere. Like I said, I've hit it in several places on the outside with a hammer. Nothing seems to be weak or compromised. I think we are good to go. Now, if consistency with this car tells us anything, that should mean that the passenger side rear frame rail should be in better shape than this one. So that's good. We are really close to laying in our floor pan. Right there. There it is right there. Really close to laying in our floor pan. I'm not gonna do it yet though. I wanna get all of this metal out of here. I want it to lay in nice and clean. I wanna get like a good, hey, that fits nice feeling. Not, oh, I still got hunks of spot weld on here. Got some cleaning up to do yet. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. This area is a little messy too. And I gotta get that cleaned up. Keep in mind, this frame rail here, or this rear trunk support brace is getting replaced. I got a new one of those, so that is good. Rocking and rolling. I really hope at least one of you wanted to high five me after that bumper brace flew off. Because I was looking for somebody to high five. All right, we cleaned it up. Unfortunately, we did it off air, but you know, I was running out of patience and sweating like something that sweats a lot. Anywho, I want to show you guys something. I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to start tearing a Mustang down like this, or I guess any unibody car, but let me show you something. Listen. If I start to put pressure on it now, oh, it's creaking. It's creaking, and we got movement. She didn't do that before, so I gotta start being gentle now, I guess. I'm gonna keep everything intact in place where it should be. Let's fit the panel in, see how she looks. Though, like I said, for the most part, the fitment for the trunk floor pieces, the trunk floor kit, they seem to be pretty spot on. I don't know, we'll see. This one fits pretty good, but obviously there's some metal that needs moved out of place and stuff, and this is down a little bit because it dropped a little whenever it broke free off of the old trunk floor pan. So there's some things to look for, but we'll get there. Looking pretty good though. I'm happy with it. Oh, that might about do it for this episode. It's Thursday night. I got a lot going on this weekend, so I don't know how much more I'm gonna get done. I'm hot, I'm leaking sweat. And honestly, I'm just kind of tired and I want to go in and see my wife. So this might be where I call it quits for this week. Thank you to all those guys who responded to me on Instagram. I made a comment about how miserable spot welds are to deal with and got a lot of feedback from people on suggestions and stuff. I love social media. Taking on a project car in the day and age of social media is so much fun. If you don't have a project car yet, I highly recommend you get one. If you can, because they are fun. It's fun, 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 fun. I'm having a blast out here, and I appreciate all you guys that are watching. It's a fun ride. So, all that being said, until the next episode, progress. Until the next episode, take care.